While some people scroll past match highlights without a second thought, there's another group whose entire week revolves around 90 minutes on a pitch. Their mood, energy, even identity can rise or collapse depending on a single goal. And here's the thing most people misunderstand. Football obsession isn't stupidity, it isn't weakness, and it's definitely not just a game. Psychologically, it's one of the most powerful emotional systems humans still engage with in modern life. Stay with me, because once you understand what football does to the brain, you'll never look at obsessed fans the same way again. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Football obsession taps into some of the oldest survival mechanisms in the human brain. Long before cities, jobs, or social media, humans survived by belonging to a group. Your tribe wasn't a hobby, it was life or death. And football didn't invent tribalism, it hijacked it. When a football fan watches their team, their brain releases oxytocin, the same bonding hormone responsible for trust, loyalty, and attachment. This is the chemical that strengthens family bonds, which means on a neurological level, the brain doesn't fully distinguish between family and team. That's why fans say, "We won," instead of "they won." The team becomes part of the self. This is where obsession begins. Football-obsessed people often have strong collective identity wiring. Their sense of self expands beyond the individual. They feel more alive as part of something bigger. When the team wins, their brain interprets it as personal success. When the team loses, it feels like personal failure. Not metaphorically, biologically. And then there's dopamine. Every kickoff, every counterattack, every near miss triggers anticipation. Dopamine isn't pleasure, it's motivation. It's the chemical that says, pay attention, this matters. Football delivers it in constant, unpredictable bursts. The uncertainty of the result is what keeps fans locked in. This is called intermittent reinforcement, the same reward pattern that makes gambling addictive. Your brain doesn't care if the outcome affects your real life. It only cares that it's uncertain and emotionally charged. For obsessed fans, football becomes a regulated emotional outlet. Anger, hope, fear, joy, frustration, all compressed into a socially acceptable space. Screaming at the TV isn't immaturity, it's emotional discharge. In societies where men especially are discouraged from expressing vulnerability, football becomes one of the few places where raw emotion is allowed. That's why obsession often intensifies during stressful life periods. Work pressure, financial uncertainty, relationship instability. Football provides structured chaos, a place where pain feels meaningful, where loss has a clear cause, and where hope resets every season. But obsession isn't only about escape. For many, it's about narrative hunger. Football-obsessed minds are deeply drawn to story, the underdog, the comeback, the betrayal, the redemption arc. Psychologically, these people score high in narrative immersion. They don't just watch events, they live inside stories. Football offers real-life drama with unscripted outcomes. It feels more alive than movies because it can still surprise you. And here's something people rarely admit. Football obsession can stabilize identity. For someone who feels invisible in daily life, being a fan provides belonging, recognition, shared language. You might be ignored at work, overlooked socially, struggling privately, but on match day, you belong. You're part of something that existed before you and will exist after you. That continuity gives meaning. There's also something called basking in reflected glory. When the team succeeds, the fans' self-esteem rises. Critics say this is delusion. Psychologists say it's compensation. Humans have always borrowed meaning from collective achievements. Nations, religions, movements. Football is simply the modern version, but obsession has a shadow side. When identity becomes too tightly fused with the team, emotional regulation weakens. Losses feel catastrophic. Referees become enemies. Rival fans become threats. This is when tribal instinct overrides rational thought. The brain shifts into us versus them mode. It's not about football anymore. It's about defending identity. And that's why obsessed fans often confuse non-fans. To them, indifference feels almost offensive. Not because others are wrong, but because indifference threatens the emotional reality they're living in. If football doesn't matter to you, what does that say about the thing that matters most to them? Here's the paradox. Football-obsessed people are often deeply emotional, loyal, and capable of intense empathy, but only within the boundaries of their tribe. They care fiercely. They just concentrate that care into a very specific channel. So are football-obsessed people irrational? No. They're human, intensely human. They found a system that delivers belonging, emotion, story, and meaning in a world that often feels empty and fragmented. For some, it's unhealthy. For others, it's the glue holding them together. And here's the key point most debates miss. Football obsession isn't about the game. It's about what the game gives them that life doesn't always provide. Structure, belonging, emotional permission, shared struggle, hope. So the next time you see someone lose their mind over a match, don't ask, why do they care so much? Ask, what need is this fulfilling? Because everyone obsesses over something. Football fans, at least, are honest about it. If this changed how you see football obsession, subscribe for more content that breaks down the psychology behind human behavior.